The crisp autumn evening in small-town America. The kind that makes you feel both nostalgic and alive. The leaves had turned fiery shades of red and gold, and the air carried the faint scent of pine and wood smoke. At the edge of town stood a National Guard outpost, a relic from times of heightened alertness that now served as a quiet reminder of vigilance. Sergeant Mark Harris, a seasoned soldier with a calm demeanor, was on duty at the checkpoint booth. His military career had taken him to various hotspots around the globe, but he had always found solace in his small hometown of Maplewood. This outpost was less about defense and more about community support, with Mark often helping with local events or responding to emergencies. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the rumble of motorcycles echoed down the highway. Mark looked up to see a group of bikers approaching, their headlights piercing the gathering dusk. The Iron Wolves, a notorious biker gang, had a reputation that preceded them. They were known for causing trouble wherever they went, and tonight, their path led them straight to the outpost. The leader of the gang, a burly man with a thick beard and a leather jacket emblazoned with their emblem, pulled up to the checkpoint. He removed his helmet, revealing a scarred face that spoke of a hard life lived on the edge. "Evening, officer," he said with a smirk that didn't reach his cold eyes. "Good evening," Mark replied evenly, maintaining his calm demeanor. "What brings you gentlemen here tonight?" "We're just passing through," the leader said, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Thought we'd take a shortcut through your little setup here." Mark's eyes narrowed slightly. "This is a restricted area. I'm going to have to ask you to turn around." The leader laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "You hear that, boys? The soldier here thinks he can tell us what to do." The other bikers laughed along with him, revving their engines in a show of intimidation. Mark remained unfazed, his training kicking in as he assessed the situation. He knew this could escalate quickly if not handled properly. "Look, I don't want any trouble," Mark said, his voice firm but not aggressive. "But if you insist on causing it, you'll find I'm more than capable of handling it." The leader's expression darkened, and he swung his leg off his bike, walking towards Mark. He was a good head taller and significantly bulkier, but Mark didn't back down. "You think you're tough, soldier boy?" The leader sneered. "I've dealt with tougher than you." Mark's eyes flicked to the side, where a young private was watching the exchange nervously. He knew he had to de-escalate the situation to protect his men and the outpost. "I don't think I'm tough," Mark replied calmly. "I know it. And if you don't turn around and leave, you'll find out just how tough." The leader's eyes blazed with anger, and he took a swing at Mark. The blow was fast, but Mark was faster. He ducked, grabbing the leader's arm and twisting it behind his back in one fluid motion. The biker yelled in pain and surprise as Mark forced him to the ground. The other bikers moved to intervene, but Mark's men, seeing their sergeant in action, stepped forward, weapons ready but not raised. It was a standoff, tension crackling in the air like static electricity. "Stand down," Mark ordered, his voice carrying the weight of command. "All of you." The bikers hesitated, looking at their leader, who was now on his knees, face twisted in pain. Mark tightened his grip just enough to make his point clear. "Tell your men to back off," Mark said to the leader, "or this ends badly for you." The leader gritted his teeth but nodded. "Back off, guys." Reluctantly, the bikers complied, stepping back and cutting their engines. Mark released the leader, who stood up, rubbing his arm and glaring at Mark with pure hatred. "This isn't over," he spat. "Yes, it is," Mark replied, his tone final. "Now get on your bikes and leave. Don't come back." The leader mounted his bike, and with one last venomous look, he and his gang roared away into the night. Mark watched them go, his body still tense with adrenaline. The young private approached him, eyes wide with awe. "That was amazing," Sergeant Harris," he said. "I've never seen anything like it." Mark allowed himself a small smile. "Just another day at the office, private. Let's get back to work." As the night settled in and the town of Maplewood returned to its quiet routine, Mark Harris stood at his post, ever vigilant. He knew that the peace he helped maintain was fragile, but he also knew that as long as he was there, no one would threaten his town or its people. In the end, it wasn't just about strength or toughness. It was about standing up for what was right, protecting those who couldn't protect themselves, and showing that even in the face of intimidation, true courage comes from within.